All right. This is important. If you want to see what happens to somebody when you break their routine, watch what happens when they get put in the hospital. I have never, from any caregiver ever, I've heard that a hospital stay went well. I've got emails from people all over, nightmares, that make your skin crawl what happened. And I've been through it with my dad. First of all, I couldn't even convince him he's in the hospital. He owned the building, firing everybody, having this person arrested. At one point, he had a bed next to the wall, and there was a guy in the bed. He had to close the curtain, right? Now, the other guy's family's coming to visit, so all he heard was voices behind that curtain. He's screaming, yelling, somebody needs to go shut that door. Well, there is no door, right? The second day, the guy begged to be moved. I'm like, dude, what took you so long? He's like, I don't know how you do this, man. I'm like, so then after he left, I asked the nurse, like, can you move him over to that bed, right? Maybe if he could see into the hall, that he'd have some concept that he was actually in a hospital. They're like, well, no, that bed's already taken. That bed stayed empty. It's staying empty. I'm like, listen, if they made the bed, they don't want to make it again. Just swap beds or whatever. I waited the next morning. The doctor comes in at 6:30 to do his round. I said, listen, I asked the staff yesterday if they move him over there. I think you'd do so much better if you could at least see what's going on a little bit. He goes, what they say? The man says no. He goes, I'll take care of this. Sure enough, by 10:30 that morning, he had moved over there. It did fix everything, but now we're seeing people going down the hallway with their gurney and stuff going on there. So I mean, it made a difference. You have a little deal in it. When they come in, the lucidity, and they're checking everything, I brought my dad in the emergency room. All right. First of all, he was impacted for over 40 days. Almost killed him. All right. He comes in there. One morning he wanted to go out. 1:30 in the morning he was going out that front door with his underwear and a walker, no matter what. I put my hand on him. He was on fire. Right. 104 fever. Dealing with this. And I keep asking him, you go? He goes, I went 2 days ago. I went 2 days ago. Watch their bowel movements. All right. I'm telling you, kill John Wayne, he could kill anybody on the deal with it. So anyway, I get him in the emergency, and they ended up taking 12 inches out of his colon, resecting and everything, but he survived all that. We're in the emergency room, and the doctor's asking me, checking his lucidity. He's like, do you know what year it is? Do you know where you were born? The guy could tell you Philadelphia, you've never been to Philadelphia in your life. You don't know what they're telling you. The guy asked us, my dad, he goes, do you know who the president is? My dad looked at him, he looked over at me, he wouldn't say a word. Doctor leaves, closes the curtain, my dad goes, this guy's a doctor and he doesn't even know who the heck the president is? But the point of this is, he couldn't understand why they were asking him the questions. All right? So, I've been working on this project for 4 years, and I finally got to the point where it's breaking through. And when you go in the hospital, Clark brought out some bands over there, but what my idea is the hospital is going to supply the band. And Brookfield Regional up in my area is going to be the first hospital to start this. We're hoping to combine this with Naples Regional, Physician Regional over here, that when you get admitted in the hospital, you're going to have a band. They did all the legal search on this. You can't put Alzheimer's, you can't put dementia on it, because that's against the HIPAA Act. Right. They came up with, they're going to white band with purple lettering, and they're talking about doing alert advocate. Because what happens is, nobody knows what's going on. You get the nurse. When you're in hospital care, it's acute care. You're running around, one person will take care of this person for 10 minutes, and they're over there. So I mean, nobody really understands what's going on with that patient. You've got to be their advocate all the way through this. Okay? When they're in the hospital, you got to stay. They answer the question. I went downstairs to get some fresh air. 10 minutes, I come up, and this is a nurse with this clipboard standing over my dad, drilling him for his prescription history. Well, this man couldn't tell you if he took pills 2 minutes ago. She's like, are you taking this? He's like, yes. They're writing this stuff down. I mean, this is serious. I mean, this is, people with Alzheimer's just signing themselves out. All right? I had a lady from the East Coast. She goes, I finally got home to go chance to take a shower, change my clothes. I get back to the hospital. I can't find my husband. They're like, well, he's in surgery. She's like, what? Right? He signed himself into surgery. I'm not saying he didn't need the surgery. So then he comes back up from surgery, right? He's like, oh, they're killing me. I'm in so much pain. She goes down to the nurse's station. She goes, you got to give him something for the pain. He goes, no, he refused all pain meds. Right? They cut this man down to here and they're giving him nothing. All right? This is pathetic. I'm dealing with it. But you got to build a communication. That's what this book just came out on Tuesday, and this book is part of the project that I've been working on it. And it's basically, I want to build a better communication between the staff and the caregiver. That's number one. And not only that, the hospital and these assisted living homes. They're the worst that I worry about the most. If you're in a facility, you have a stroke or you're not in the hospital for Alzheimer's dementia. Something else brought you there. All right. So they transport them from the facility into the hospital. There's no communication. If they don't have family in that area, they have nobody speaking themselves. So there needs to be communication between that hospital and whoever was on the head nurse on that floor to find out what's going on. Like they're in the hospital, they're not even on the same meds. I mean, everything that's just been, there's no communication. So that's one thing that we got to work on this. The best part about this project is the hospital's talking about doing a half-day seminar to train the staff on how to handle it. And that's groundbreaking because they don't know it all. As a matter of fact, they don't know what to do is the problem. And the thing is, we're looking at 4 different things on this. Number 1 is readmission. People with Alzheimer's, they're more readmitted than any other hospital out there. All right? Right now, Obamacare, hospitals are getting fined for readmission. So now we got their attention on this. All right? Second, Baker Active. People with early onset in their 50s, they still don't understand that these people have dementia and Alzheimer's. That hasn't quite hit them yet in the hospitals, it seems. They're getting Baker Active. They're combative. They're doing it. The guy's confused, doesn't know what's going on. They can't understand that the guy is someone at 55 that's maybe in the middle stage of Alzheimer's, Right? Medication is the other one. Family complaints is the other one. And they're like, how would we know about family complaints? I go, well, they're not yelling at you anymore. I know one hospital stayed, the staff was happy that I was leaving and my dad was leaving when he was discharged. Because, he just had enough, down there. I mean, it's crazy. The other problem in the hospital, you get one nurse that really handled the patient very well. Next night, she's in the other wing. So, I mean, it's so much transpiring over there. Yeah, sorry, you got beeping noises, you got machines, strange faces, and then with the band, the person on the band will be vigilant where they go. They're on the 3rd floor or the 2nd floor, not so they're downstairs in radiology. Now that person down there has no clue that this person has dementia. You can't look at someone in the face and say, hey, that's like saying, I can see you're deaf in one ear. You just can't tell. So the band's going to be a visual alert on it. So anyway, January, this thing's supposed to be starting. They're working on a timeline and everything on it. So glad to get somebody's attention on this.